As the gateway to the Kimberley, Broome is known for its world-famous beaches, its spectacular natural landscapes, and of course, its incredible multicultural history. This history is evident throughout Broome, and with so much of it, it can be a little bit daunting figuring out where to start. You do have the option of doing a self-guided walking trail in the town, but if you really want to get some deeper knowledge, I recommend doing a guided walking tour. I'm here today to meet up with Will from Broome Historical Walking Tours. He's going to take me on a 90-minute journey back in time to Broome's iconic past. You're so passionate about the history of Broome. How did that come about for you?
The history of Broome is mind-blowing. I was up here doing a story for ABC as a broadcaster, and I just started digging, basically, and the more I dug, the more I uncovered, and it just lit a passion in me. But also, this place, it kind of gets a hold of you. When you're in the Kimberley, there's something about the Kimberley that comes up through your feet and into your heart, and you can't really let go of it.
We're at Town Beach right now, and there's a ton of history attached to this area. Can you tell me a little bit about it from your point of view?
In the pearling days, this was the main way in or out of Broome, which was by the jetty to my left here, which ran out 900 metres out into the bay there. It was the main sort of train station. It was like Paddington, Grand Central. Ships ran up and down the west coast, over to Singapore, down through here, down to Perth and Fremantle. Also, this was the swimming beach. Cable Beach, which we know is an iconic swimming destination, was a day's horse ride away in the old pearling days.
Broome's history is incredible, and there is no better guide than Will. So when you think of Broome, you can't help but think of pearls, but there's actually quite a story around it, isn't there?
There is. There's so many stories around pearling itself, but it wasn't strictly pearls. Broome's got this romantic story of pearls and Broome and the Victorian era of the master pearler, but it was literally about shell. Back in the day, there was nothing that they could make shirt buttons from. This was the main thing that drove it, and it's very banal because, of course, it was used for things like jewellery and instrument inlays and the famous pearl handle revolver. But the thing that drove the industry was buttons on shirts. And here in the Kimberley, we have this shell called the pink tartar maxima, which is the largest pearl shell in the world, and it's native to this area out here.
You don't need to be incredibly fit to join the tour. This 1.5 kilometre walk is suitable for most ages. And while there are some sandy stretches, anyone with a love of the outdoors will be able to manage. The last destination of the tour is the Broome Historical Museum. Run by the Broome Historical Society, the museum is housed over 3 buildings in the Heritage Precinct. Will, you have to tell me about this big fella here.
So this is the hard hat diver. This is he. Don't have a name for him. But he looks massive, but in reality, the diver was obviously a lot shorter than this. The idea behind the massiveness of the suit is it can inflate.
Yeah.
It's full of air. So where you're standing now, this is the air pump that would feed air down to the diver. Copper helmet, canvas rubber suit, fully sealed, big heavy brass boots, brass leather and steel, massive lead weight on the front, lead weight on the back. And then the last thing to go on is the faceplate. The pump attendants would start cranking these 2 big handles, and the air would go down the hose into the helmet. Once the needle read 10 fathoms, they knew there was enough air for this guy to breathe, push him in, and the divers were on the ocean floor being pulled behind the lugger as it sailed, and each tender had a lifeline which went down to the diver, and that's how the diver communicated.
I highly recommend this tour experience. I feel like I know Broome in a completely different way. Will runs his tours on Tuesdays through to Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. Make sure you book in on your next trip to Broome.